Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today I'm going to be doing another update in my Pan Those Eyeshadows Project Pan series. This is a huge project that is going on across YouTube and Instagram and basically any place that the panning community exists. This project is going on and it was created by the lovely Alexy. I will make sure to have her linked in the description box down below, as well as Rebecca Morgan. It was actually Rebecca's channel that I discovered this project on, and through that, Alexy's channel. They are both wonderful project panners and I do highly recommend checking them out. There are tons of playlists from everyone who is working on this project, so if you find that you enjoy this, you have a lot of binge-worthy content to get your hands on as well. If you can hear that music in the background, I am so sorry. My neighbor across the street is playing it very loudly from his vehicle. So let's go ahead and jump into the shadows that I am working on and my progress in them. So one of the shadows that has been in the longest comes from my Persona Cosmetics Copper Theory palette. I am currently working on this matte shade here called Brick. It does have a little bit of a dip going on in it, but not too terribly deep. I have used this a total of 3 times since our last check-in. So let's go ahead and let me build that up just a little bit. All right, so this is what Brick looks like. It is just a beautiful matte terracotta orange shade, and it is really stunning, but a little bit goes a long way. So I do have a bit of an uphill battle in front of me to either use it the 30 times or hit pan, whichever comes first. The next shade that has been in about the same amount of time, I think, as Brick comes from my Too Faced Gingerbread palette. I am also working on the shade Bake It Till You Make It, which is this shade right here. That is actually what I am wearing all over my lids today. This is a really nice 1 or 2 shadow all over the lid, blended out sort of shade, and I do really enjoy using it. This is a swatch of it right there. It's definitely on the browner side, which means that it works well with a lot of different eyeshadows, and I find that it is very versatile and I enjoy using it quite a bit. I did use it a total of 9 times since our last check-in. So just like with the that Brick shade from my Persona Cosmetics palette, I do have a good long ways to go before I hit either one of those 2 goals. Ooh, a shade that I feel like I am never going to get anywhere in, and I'm trying to do this without just blinding the daylights out of you, comes from my Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette. It is this shade in the middle right here. It is a beautiful sort of garnet red metallic. It's in the shade After Party. This one I did only use once since our last update. Again, it's really beautiful. It's just not the kind of color that I typically gravitate towards. Even though I am at home all of the time, it's just not one that I typically am drawn to, so it is going to take me quite a while to get to either one of those goals. But this is what I was meaning by so many of my shades are right in the same color family. Also in other projects I have similarly shaded colors, so progress on all of them is going slower than I'd like because you can kind of interchange them and you get basically the same eye look. Even though they look very different on my hand, once they're blended out on the eye, they really do the same thing. So in the last update, we did roll in 2 new eyeshadows. One of them comes from my Marc Jacobs Editorial palette, and the shade that got rolled in is this beautiful shade right here. This is in the shade Enviously, and I think that this is the shade that I have enjoyed using the most because it's just so different from everything that I've been working on so far this year. And I've really, really enjoyed layering it in a lot of different ways. The swatches really don't do it justice. It does not swatch very well, but when applied to the eye, it's really, really lovely. Let's see if I can get a decent swatch here for you. So that is it there on the bottom. It is kind of a black based teal. And it's really, really nice. I have absolutely loved using it. I have used it a total of 5 times since our last update. I feel like I just updated you guys on this project, so I don't feel like I've used anything as much as I should. But then we get to my shade from the White Peach palette, which was also rolled in on our last update. Peach Smoothie is the name of the shade. I have actually used this 22 times. And I do have pan on it. I'm absolutely shocked that I hit pan as quickly as I did in this shade. It is a very powdery formula. I, again, was surprised. Too Faced is typically pretty firmly pressed. I flew through this, and you guys know I never fly through eyeshadow. That's like unheard of for me. So I did use it 22 times, and I do have pan, so I am going to be able to roll something new in. Thank you so much to those of you who commented in the last video where I rolled it in, saying that you used it as kind of a set down for your eyeshadow primer. That's what I used it for. I still had to take a very light hand with it because I am so fair. It was definitely much pinker on my skin. But 22 times is still a shockingly small amount to use in order to hit pan. So that means I get to roll in a new one. And as promised, I did finally update my spreadsheet. Oh, friends. Okay, so I reworked the whole thing. I alphabetized all of my palettes, put everything down as of that date. And when I last updated this spreadsheet, I have 2,128 pans of eyeshadow in palette form. You know I'm an addict. Okay, so we won't dwell on the staggering amount of eyeshadow that I have, but we will go ahead and roll for a new one. So I do have all of my parameters in my Pretty Random app. I have line items 2 through 2128 because I can't talk, and we'll go ahead and we'll randomize. All right, so that is 1887. Let's go ahead and figure out what palette that comes from. All right, so I'm back and I'm a little scared. I haven't looked at the shadow yet, but 1887 comes from my Juvia's Place Nubian palette. And the reason I'm scared is because I know what kind of color story this has. And it's so similar to what I'm already working on. 1887 corresponds with shade number 5. These don't have names on them, but I can already tell you if it is basically the same color as what I already have, I'm gonna re-roll. I'm just gonna re-roll. I can't have another shadow that I'm already working on basically. So let's open her up. So the 5th shade is this one right here. Let's go ahead and swatch her and see what we think. I'm just getting kind of burnt out. Yeah. I mean, she's pretty, but I'm just burnt out on wearing the same look pretty much day in and day out. So, oh, that's right. I did give myself veto power. That's right. I had a total of 3 automatic vetoes that I could use throughout the year, and I've only used 1. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to re-roll. I'm sorry, guys. I know that's kind of a cheat thing to do, but I can't do it. All right, so let's go ahead and 1785. Let's see where that comes from. All right, so 1785 comes to us from my Coven Cosmetics palette. I don't remember the name of this palette. I just call it the Tarot palette because it's got all of these tarot cards on it. And I pulled immediately 2 of the shades out of here, these 2 shades, because they were pressed glitters, and I'm just not a pressed glitters kind of gal. But This shade right here is the shade that we drew. This is a really neat sort of duochrome color. These are very powdery. They are hand pressed, and let me get you, it's going to be really light. It's this kind of purpley blue, kind of lilac color right there. It's really stunning, and I'm really excited to be playing with it. I'm very glad that I made the choice to re-roll. So that is going to be super fun to work with, and I'm really excited. I think this is a really neat color story, and I'm excited to work on it. Gosh, that color is just so interesting. I have not used this nearly enough, so I'm thrilled that this is in the project now. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.